Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Tonight we are doing video number 9, reading on together the Empath Survival Guide by Judith Orloff Md. The chapter that we are on right now is regarding empaths and sex and love and relationships and all that good stuff. So where we left off was tips to help two empaths that may be together to help them communicate better. So this just goes off the typical different types of people you get and how they can relate to an empath in a romantic relationship mainly. So we left off on tips on how to help two empaths that are together communicate. That was type number 2. And now type number 3, the rock or strong and silent type. Consistent, dependable, and stable. This type of partner will always be there to lean on. Empaths can express emotions freely around them. Rocks won't get alarmed or be critical. They can be counted on, which is reassuring for empaths who love consistency. But rocks often have a hard time sharing their own feelings. Their empath mates may keep trying to get them to open up, but become frustrated with the slow progress. Empaths may feel that rocks are emotionally shut off or even boring. Empaths and rocks can make wonderful partners. They balance each other. Rocks can learn from empaths how to express their emotions and passion more clearly, while empaths can learn to be grounded from the rock. It's not that rocks don't have feelings, it's that they need loving support to bring them out. Their feet are solid on the earth. Looking at all of the types, when connected with an empath, my husband is definitely number 3, and that definitely fits the bill. I wonder if any of the ones I read prior to you, or even this one here, matches you if you're in a relationship. Tips to help an empath communicate with a rock type. Express gratitude. Regularly voice appreciation for a rock's positive qualities. Rocks light up when they're affirmed for what they genuinely contribute to a relationship. Make an intimacy request. In order to connect more deeply, ask the rock to express at least one emotion a day, such as, I'm delighted, I love you, or I'm feeling anxious. Spend time in nature together. This gives both partners a mutual physical activity which will bring the two of you even closer to each other in natural settings. Tips to help a rock communicate with an empath. Stir things up. Initiate emotional exchanges so that you're not simply responding to your partner's lead. Show your feelings. Remember that expressing emotions is a form of passion and generosity. Make physical contact. Hug or put your arm around your partner. Empaths love that. That's true. I do best with a partner who is a rock and not an empath. My mate is grounded and can hear my emotions without getting swept away by them. That's so big. Being with another empath would feel too overwhelming for me. I also prefer a partner who is quiet and contained rather than someone who talks a lot and shares his emotional states frequently. That is very true. I agree with that. Make sure your partner respects your sensitivity. As an empath, your next step is to ask yourself whether a potential partner honors your sensitivities. While getting to know someone, share that you're sensitive and how that means you feel emotions strongly and value having time alone. The right person will understand, while the wrong person will criticize you for being overly sensitive. A clear sign that someone might not be right for you. I advise my patients to screen the people they date for their sensitivity IQ. What is that? The following assessment will help you to understand. Determine your partner's sensitivity IQ. Do they treat you lovingly and respectfully? Do they care about other people and have close friends? Do they treat the parking lot attendant or food server well? Are love and relationship a priority in their life? Do they respond well when you set limits and boundaries? Are they kind to children and animals? Do they appreciate nature? Do they honor the earth and actively try to preserve it? Are they giving and unselfish most of the time? And most importantly, are they capable of love? Here's how to interpret your results. 7 to 10 yeses indicate your potential mate has a high sensitivity IQ, which is good. 3 to 6 yeses indicate a moderately high sensitivity IQ. Anything less than 3 indicates a low sensitivity IQ. This person's ability to be a sensitive partner is questionable unless they get coaching or therapy to grow. 0 yeses are a sign for you to run in the opposite direction and find a more emotionally aware partner. Not all empaths want or need to be in long-term soulmate relationships, and that's okay. It's not everyone's path to be part of a couple. Growth can come in many other satisfying ways. Sometimes empaths need a break from relationships to be with themselves, to grow and heal, which is also fine. One empath told me, "I've been happily single for 3 years. I tend to put others first and ignore my own needs in a relationship, so eventually I become unhappy. I feel more empowered when I'm single because relationships can throw me off center, but I do want to get to a point where I can feel empowered in a relationship." How empaths can have empowered, intimate partnerships. Research has shown that sensitive people are more likely than others to be single, divorced, or separated, and less likely to have ever been married. One interpretation of this information is that empaths and sensitives tend to have special needs that make marriage more challenging for both them and their partners. But if you do want intimacy, how can you create an empowered partnership? I can't emphasize enough the importance of authentic conversations about your empathic needs. Compromise is key. Listen to your partner's desires too, so that you can both find balance. The last thing you want to feel is pressured to be someone you're not. Empaths thrive on consistency, which fosters trust and acceptance. As one empath told me, "My husband accepts me exactly as I am. Through his acceptance, I have learned to be true to myself." Empaths will have issues to resolve in relationships no matter how good the match. If you're embarking on or have been in a long-term relationship, here are some points to discuss with your partner about how to love an empath and the common challenges and adjustments necessary to create a successful relationship. So here she's going to go over 12 different secrets for the empath in love, and they are longer, so we'll touch on a few of them, as many as we can within reason. I don't like to throw too much information at you. Oh, and also I'm in my big, puffy robe because I'm going to go in the spa after I'm done here. It's cold out, at least where I live. Okay, 12 secrets for the empath in love. Number 1, value regular alone time to decompress and meditate. For an empath, having alone time in a relationship is about self-preservation. It's not just a luxury. So balance alone time with people time. Regularly take what I call a golden hour to decompress. Also get in the habit of having mini breaks throughout the day. Tell your partner how vital this is for you because empaths need to think and process alone to regroup. This timeout gives you space to internally work through issues about the relationship too, so you have more clarity later with your partner. Sometimes you can have quiet time together. You don't want to be alone, you just want to be left alone. When you lovingly explain this to your partner, they're less likely to feel rejected or take it personally. Make the matter about you and your own sensitivities rather than them. Make the matter about you and your sensitivities rather than about them. Sorry, I misread that. There are ways to resolve the classic empath dilemma of needing alone time. When I was on a book tour and felt talked out after being with people all day, my partner would call me in my hotel room and we connected in silence. We'd just be quiet with each other on the phone. It was fantastic to do this with someone I love, not have to talk and yet still feel each other's presence. Although my partner and I adore each other and he's very caring, there are still empath issues to work out. I have a very strong hermit side, so we are finding our way. When we commit to an intimate partnership, the very nature of the relationship calls for sacrifice and compromise. But we don't want to compromise our soul. We must reach a balance. And number 2, discuss how much time you want to spend socializing. Empaths, especially the introverted ones, have a more limited capacity for socializing than people who aren't empaths. We truly enjoy being alone in situations where others would prefer being social. One empath told me, "I would rather watch Netflix and order takeout than go to a party." Another empath shared, I like people, but the loss of alone time is scary. It's like not being able to breathe, but too much free time leaves me feeling disconnected. That's very true. Given this, try to reach a comfortable compromise about how much you socialize if your mate isn't an empath. Here's what I did when I was on vacation with my partner in the Bahamas. We stayed at a bed and breakfast where everyone ate dinner together each night. He liked that and felt it was a good way to get to know interesting people. But I tend to be antisocial at times and don't enjoy small talk. Getting to know lots of strangers would drive me crazy, so we discussed what to do. One option was for me to eat alone in my room, which I normally would have done since that's what I'm comfortable with. But I didn't want to miss out on being with my partner, so we compromised. First, we ate dinner together on the dock, just the two of us. Then he spent some time afterward getting to know the other guests while I took some alone time. This compromise worked because we each got what we needed. I wonder if that would always work, though, because, in a social situation, I like to have my partner along. It feels nice. You kind of feel like something's missing. At least that's me. I wouldn't like that every time. An empath I know in a similar situation told me that her fiance liked sitting at the big social tables when they were on a cruise. Crowded cruises can be difficult for empaths, and she found this activity drained her. For a few days, when her fiance became ill and stayed in his room, she dined alone and enjoyed it. Many people asked her to join them. I guess they felt sorry for me, she said, but I would politely decline. I love my own company. Very few people can understand that, but now my fiance does. Number 3, negotiate and make adjustments in physical space. Breathing room is essential. Decide what kind of space you need and establish some ground rules with your partner. Ask yourself what arrangement works best. Is it having a private area to retreat to, such as a separate bathroom, which she says a must for me, separate wings, apartments, or houses? Whatever you decide is fine, as long as you agree not to crowd each other and avoid hovering close by. When traveling together, you may prefer adjoining rooms with your own bedrooms. And then she says here she likes that too. If sharing a room is the only option, hanging a sheet as a divider could help. A former boyfriend gave me the present of a keep out sign, which was perfect for me. Also consider scents and chemical sensitivities in your environment, since empaths have an acute sense of smell. Express your preferences. For instance, you may need to insist on no aftershave, perfumes, or synthetic body oils. Essential oils may be fine, but synthetic ones can be toxic to empaths. Wow, this goes just a lot, huh? And I will read one more because they're each really long. Number 4, consider separate beds or bedrooms. Sleeping with someone else can be overrated. Most of us spend our childhood sleeping alone, and then we're expected to share our beds as adults. That's a hard transition for many empaths. It's an expectation created by society that hurts those of us who don't fit into the stereotype. The assumption that spouses should always sleep in the same bed does not make sense to me. Indeed, in conventional relationships, many partners enjoy sleeping together, but some empaths never get used to this. No matter how caring our partner is, we prefer our own space or maybe a king-size bed or 2 twin beds pushed together. This way, both partners can stretch out on their side without touching the other. Give yourself permission to sleep in separate beds, have separate mattresses pushed together, or separate rooms if you need that. That definitely, that doesn't fit me. I don't know about you. Those who aren't empaths can feel lonely sleeping alone, so compromise when possible. For instance, you may decide to sleep together 4 nights a week and alone 3. One empath I know talked to her partner about loosening the snuggle hold during sleep. I don't like snuggling at all, so I get that. She needed not to be held so close all night. Empaths don't always like constant cuddling. Another woman I know had a different solution to this problem. She sleeps on the outside when spooning with her husband. She finds the exchange of energy wonderful, but when she has had enough, she simply rolls back to her side of the bed to finish the night on her own. This approach ensures that she isn't stuck on the edge of the bed without much room. Empaths tend to be light sleepers. A partner snoring or thrashing around can easily disturb us. We may also need more sleep than our mates, and we get thrown off when our dream cycle is interrupted too. For years, I slept alone for all of these reasons, but my current partner asked me if he could help me get used to sleeping with him through desensitization. I decided to try this. So at first he slept way over on the other side of the king-sized bed and agreed to move to another room if this didn't work for me. He said, "If it's uncomfortable, just touch me and I will leave. If you decide that you want more contact, tell me and I'll move closer." Over time, this helped me feel more at ease sleeping together, although he is mostly a quiet sleeper and stays on his side of the bed. Still, if he gets too close and I want more space, I ask him to move over, and he does. Some empaths like staying up late because the only time they can be alone is when their mate and kids are asleep. If you can relate, share your need for this arrangement with your partner so that they understand. I guess I can read one more. Number 5, focus on a single emotional issue and don't keep repeating yourself. Empaths can have many emotional issues going on simultaneously, which may be overwhelming for them and their partners. The best way to communicate with your mate is by sharing one issue at a time, without repeating it unless you're asked for clarification. My partner says he feels like his brain is being squeezed when I raise too many dilemmas at once, or when I keep repeating myself to make my point. Men especially tend to be task-oriented and they like to be helpful. Multiple requests for change in the same discussion make it all seem impossible. For instance, if you bombard your mate with, "I'm furious about how my boss treated me," and then, "My nerves are shot, so please turn down the TV," and then, "Will you help me bring in the groceries?" And finally, "I need you to listen to me when I'm frustrated." That is way too much for your partner to assimilate. Also remember that empaths need space to decompress after a conflict. So plan time alone to reset your rhythms, process your issues, and center yourself. There's 12 of these, and number 6 is short, so I'll add this one in. Number 6, don't take things personally, even when they are personal. This is an important but demanding principle on a spiritual path, yet it's basic to good communication and relationship harmony. Try to be less reactive to comments and more centered so that you aren't triggered as often or as intensely. Okay, so the next video we will wrap up reading the final 6, and she will start to talk about sexuality. We'll do a protection strategy to help your relationship needs, and that will pretty much wrap up chapter 4 after the next video. And then we'll be moving on to protecting yourself from narcissists and other energy vampires, which empaths are absolutely a magnet for. All right, so I will see you on video number 10. This is video number 9, reading on together, and I hope you guys found it helpful. And I will see you next time. Good night.